Thanks for joining David, Kevin, Alex, and myself for the educational video for the month of February. Hope you and your families are doing well. It's tax season or coming up to tax season, and the question we always get is, are RRSPs a benefit? I'm going to pass you over to the guys and they're going to go through all the different benefits the RRSP has. As always, if you have any questions, need any help, please don't hesitate to call. Take care.
Thanks, Harry. So when we talk about registered retirement savings plans, often it's natural to think about retirement. It's in the name of the account. But what we want to talk about today is some of the major points behind the RRSP, why you should be saving to that account, when you should be saving to that account, and what are the benefits for you. So David, what are some of the two keys for the RRSP account?
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Alex. I've heard clients before tell me, I don't believe in RRSPs, I'm not going to save tax. And I think a lot of that just comes down to being misinformed. I've had people withdraw from RRSPs while they're working. Maybe they have an emergency or they lose their job and they need to take income from an RRSP and they realize, oh, it's taxable when I take it out. Mm-hmm. And they forget about the tax deduction or the taxes they saved when they originally contributed to the RRSP. And so at the crux of it, the registered retirement savings plan, any money you contribute to it, it gets deducted from your income that year and you don't pay tax on that income. And that's one of the key benefits is the deduction, of course, and not paying taxes on that portion of your income. But the secondary benefit is that when it grows tax deferred. So when you make a contribution today, it gets to sit in that account for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and compound and grow. And you don't pay a dime of tax to the CRA until you withdraw from that account. And ideally, you're putting money into an RSP at, let's say, a 40% tax bracket. If you're making $130,000, you're in a 40% tax bracket. So if you drop 10 grand into your RSP, now your income's only 120 and you're saving taxes $4,000 on that $10,000 contribution. And then that 10,000 can sit and grow and turn into maybe 100 grand in 30 years. Mm-hmm. And when you take it out at the back end, yes, you will pay tax on it, but ideally you're in a lower tax bracket in retirement than the 40% you were in when you contributed to the account.
And that tax differential is key and when to time doing RRSPs. So if you're brand new in your career, you're in your early 20s and you're not making a ton of money, so say you're making $40,000 to $50,000 a year, you're only in a 20.06% tax bracket. So trying to save tax at that low tax bracket when more than likely you'll be in a higher tax bracket in retirement doesn't make sense. And so for that individual, saving to a TFSA or a first home savings account is much more prudent at that point in your life. Saving to the tax-free savings account allows you that money to grow tax-free, not just tax-deferred. And if you save to the first home savings account, yes, you have to use that money to buy a house, but you do get a tax deduction for that contribution without having to use any of your RRSP room. And that money grows tax-free, just like a tax-free savings account. So depending on where you are in your career really matters as far as deciding when to do RRSP contributions.
That's a great point, Kevin. And I think something that's important to note too is that any unused RRSP contribution room in the current year can be carried forward into the next year as well and into the future. So for those people who are earning $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 per year and RRSPs might not be the right time for them, that contribution room is carried forward into years where it might be more impactful.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're, obviously it's February 18th and we're recording this today, and the RSP deadline for 2025 tax deductions is March 2nd, 2026. So if you're not too sure whether you should put a little bit more money towards the deadline into your RSP or not, feel free to give us a call. Any one of us would be happy to review what your income was last year, where you are in your career, whether it makes sense to prioritize the RSP account or saving to another investment vehicle account type here.
Yeah, so give us a call or shoot us an email. We'd be happy to help you out.
So just for your reference, up on your screen, you can see the combined BC and federal marginal tax rates for the different income levels in 2025.